So are you trying to tell me that the year of Luigi has been a bust for you, Phil?
No, I mean, I think Nintendo's been putting out a ton of great stuff. I don't know, man. I don't know what they need to do different.
I mean, because I want this to be the best year of Luigi possible for you.
You want it to be better than the last year of Luigi, because last year of Luigi didn't go great for me.
Well, I mean, I guess this year of Luigi brought you a new son, so I mean, you can always tell him that. Mm-hmm. So, way back, you were born in the year of Luigi.
Samuel, you were born to us in the year of Luigi, and I want you to know how meaningful that is.
2013, the year of our Luigi. I don't know. I like Luigi's Mansion. I haven't played any of the other year of Luigi games.
I've reviewed a bunch of Nintendo games this year, and they've almost all been great. So you know,
I'm really interested
in. Let it be known that I do not hate Nintendo. Pikmin 3 was pretty rad.
I'm not buying a Wii U.
Yeah, that's
understandable. We'll see. I was halfway considering buying a Wii U and some games instead of a PS4 at launch. Like, just taking the money and moving it, basically.
Here's what I will say. I'm incredibly excited for the PS4. I'm incredibly excited for the Xbox One as well. Looking at the launch lists for both of those systems, by the time they come out, I think there will be more exciting stuff on Wii U than there is at launch. Obviously, the Wii U's had a year. And I don't know. I don't think it might. I don't think it will necessarily.
And a price drop.
I don't think it will necessarily take a year for Xbox One and PS4 to catch up.
That's the other thing is I really also want to play Infamous Second Son.
Yeah.
So. But there's not a single PS4 only game that I want to buy at launch. Not a single one. I'll probably buy Watch Dogs, but it's not a PS4 game, you know.
B-Boy says, how much did the Wii U sell year to date? I don't know that number, but I suspect it's depressing. Or at least if you're Nintendo, it's depressing.
Yeah.
Just ignore these guys who are attacking me.
Oh my god, there's so many mobs, I'm gonna die!
Sounds like a number of people in the chat are saying they pre-ordered they waited on the Wii U until the Legend of Zelda bundle, and they're pre-ordering that. Which, you know what? That bundle looks cool. Mm-hmm. I just walked into a Fate, so I'm gonna hang out here for a minute and do this.
Nintendo's making some smart moves. Like, portable, I think they're still killing it.
Oh yeah, 3DS is doing great. You know what? Honestly,
2DS is gonna murder
2DS
sales records.
Especially coming out the week that Pokemon does. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Destroy.
It's gonna kill. It's so cool.
I've been doing a lot more handheld gaming in general on both 3DS and Vita. Loving it. Like, both of them are. There's a ton of great shit in both.
I want a ton of RPGs on 3DS because it really is my preferred RPG platform.
Well, that's kind of your thing too. Like you like having RPGs on handheld and then playing them on break at work and shit, right?
Yeah. Although right now it's all break from work, so it's kind of great.
When does your new job start?
Not next Monday, but the Monday after.
Okay.
So I have one.
You know what? It's kind of nice having a break though. Like, I didn't get much of a break between leaving Game Informer and starting at Polygon. I kind of wish I would have had a little more time to just chill for a little bit.
Yeah, it's the first. I was at that job for 8 years.
As long as you have enough money to survive.
I do, and then I get a little unemployment help too, so that's nice.
And government money.
Yeah. As an objectivist,
Great.
I feel like you've been around when we've done objectivist conversations in the old, WoW.
I don't think I have.
No, I guess, no, you weren't on the Mumble server as much, but it was like Mark and me and Doug. We were all 2 other people that no one knows other than you, get into talks about, the weirdest stuff. And somehow it always ended up with me, like defending Atlas Shrugged in some way or another.
Jesus Christ, maybe we shouldn't talk about this.
No, not like
I don't know if you're being serious.
I am, but like just because like not that I agree with the stuff, but they were like I don't know, getting it wrong. I'm like if you're gonna hate on something, at least get the points of it right.
To be fair, and I'll be open about this, I've never read Atlas Shrugged, and I've always felt like I probably should at some point.
Yeah, I think
just to understand it.
Yeah, it's an important book. I mean, there's that speech in the middle. As long as you can make it past that, I mean, really, you could stop after that almost. Because that's like, literally, like, she just lays out the entire philosophy in, like, a giant speech by John Galt where he, yeah, basically lays out the entire philosophy of objectivism in, like, 1,000,000 pages.
Great.
Yeah, it's something, alright.
That's something that's like...
That doesn't I write, so...
Great writing.
Yeah.
Oh god, look at this. Look at this Magitech armor. I want this so bad. So we were mentioning this earlier, repeat it now for anyone who wasn't there. This Magitech armor from Final Fantasy VI. This is your reward for completing all of the story quests. Once you've hit the level cap and finished up all the story stuff. Which I am a long ways away from, although I'm almost level 25 here.
And I understand that it makes story sense, too. Like, it's not just, like, a weird reward, you
Yeah,
know?
well, so far I've seen, there's... Part of the story is this Garlean Empire, Evil Empire, which is a pretty common Final Fantasy plot theme, that are kind of operating in the background right now, but I assume will come to the foreground at some point in the story.
Yeah,
and they have Magitech armor. They've created it. So I assume, at some point we'll get it from them, or maybe you ally with them before the end. Who knows? Plot twists aplenty.
Tara Bradford shows up out of a portal, and then that sweet theme plays, and then it kicks into the Final Fantasy VI boss fight theme, which is, in case you didn't know, the best song in Final Fantasy.
I would freak out so hard if I'm going through a dungeon and suddenly Locke's theme starts playing. Locke just drops in, shows up.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And you're like, how come you're not Sabin or Edgar?
Shut the fuck up. Get out.
If you'll notice the ranks in our guild, Locke is not among them.
I hate you so much.
In fact, the Guildmaster rank is Edgar Figaro, because he is the best. The best Final Fantasy character.
Technically, Kefka's the best Final Fantasy character. I think we can agree on that.
Yeah, okay, the best playable Final Fantasy character.
That's fair.
Second place, Kuja. No. Seymour.
So wait, is Lightning in this for real? Where does she show up?
She's not in it yet, but she will be.
That's gonna be weird.
Yeah. That's when they're gonna add the, when female characters can get the lightning outfit and male characters can get the snow outfit. She's gonna have a special quest chain, I guess.
It's gonna be weird.
Supposedly around the time of Lightning Returns coming out.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
To time it that way, I mean.
Yeah.
Kaneki points out Kefka is playable in the
That's true.
Final Fantasy Duodecim. I don't know, man.
Dissidia Duodecim.
Dissidia Duodecim. 83
and
I'm third.
I'm really sad that this didn't get some sort of Latin in the title.
Yeah.
That kind of bums me out.
I believe these dudes I'm fighting right now are, in fact, Garlean Empire dudes.
Are they wearing like the goofy Green Hornet mask?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's them. I like
Yeah,
all their
like-
soldiers have that.
Yeah.
They have like archers' hats and like a Green Hornet mask.
Oh, whoops. I'm fighting somebody else's dudes.
Well, I like that the guild chat is... Everyone's doing auto-translate now because of me, because I auto-translate everything.
Auto-translate is a great feature, and, you want to be inclusive to anybody who may not be an English speaker in our guild chat.
They have an auto-translate. How about that?
BTalk says if I want to get into these games, which one is the best entry point? Do you mean Final Fantasy games? If If you're talking Final Fantasy games, I would probably
Spring.
say... What did you say, Dylan?
Final Fantasy IV for Game Boy Advance.
Sure, 4 is a really great one. There's also Final Fantasy IV Complete on Vita and PSP. That
And on the iPhone, I think, too, actually.
Sure, and that has like all of the extra content as well. Yeah, 4 is a good entry point. I've always said 6 is my favorite, but that might not be necessarily the best entry point.
Yeah, 6 is also my favorite, but I don't think it's the best entry point.
A lot of people
Just
love
'cause-
7, but I don't think 7 holds up that great. I think that was more of a, like, at the
great.
time.
Yeah. Yes, people are saying 6. I don't think 6 is a good entry point. I think you having that like preposterously huge party is not conducive to like.
Kishin points out, and I would agree with this. 10 is a great entry point, and they're about to release 10
It's a
HD.
great entry point.
They're about to release 10 HD, so it'll be even
late
on.
next year.
Yeah, well, okay. They're releasing 10 HD next year sometime, but that will be a good like.
That'd be a
would great.
fantastic entry point. Actually, it's the best one I'd say for a modern gamer to get into. It's got plenty of tutorial. It's got the easiest battle system. It's got voiced cutscenes. It's going to be super attractive. The HD version is going to be gorgeous.
Someone brought up 9 as well, and I do think 9 is one that, of the PS1 era Final Fantasy games, 9 is probably the one that holds up the most.
Yeah, I think 9 has a feel about it that if you haven't played any of the other ones, you can't get, like, it's supposed to evoke nostalgia, but if you haven't actually played any other Final Fantasies, it doesn't work.
I think it still will hold up.
Yeah, it's a great game, but I think it's one to play after you've played a bunch of other Final Fantasies, and then you play 7 and 8, and you're like, what the fuck happened? And then you go back and you play 9, and you're like, oh, this is right. Just like everyone else did back in the day.
Mike says a lot of this game looks like Final Fantasy 12, but an MMO to me. There's definitely a lot of 12 inspiration.
12 Team did a lot of work on this game, actually.
There you go. That makes sense. Like, even just the way the enemies draw lines to you when they aggro is very much like that's directly from 12.
Oh, yeah.
It is great.
Fantastic. And it does it for healers, too, when they're healing you. It shows who they're healing.
I'm not going to do this fate right now.
It doesn't have misnax, though. That was, like, my favorite part of 12. When you could do, like, 15 supers in a row.
Alright.
I got really good at those. Has a better story than 12, too.
There are so many people in this fate, I have no clue what's going on.
That's when it's good to set up controller filters to target enemies. Kind of expected that 12 remark to
What's
bait
that?
you. I expected that 12 remark to bait you, but it didn't quite work. Unless it has a better story than 12.
Wait, who said that?
I said that.
Oh, you did.
Because it's true.
I like 12's story. They're very different.
Yeah.
This is like a more traditional fantasy story. 12 is more like politics and stuff. God, I have no clue what's happening. I'm just in the middle of this fucking shitstorm of enemies and spell effects going on.
Yeah. The best is when the fates get so huge that like the game literally can't load everyone. That's pretty fun. Like when you're fighting Behemoth.
So I have not fought Behemoth, but I've heard incredible things.
Yeah, he's a level 50 fate. And it's really cool when you fight him. If you get a gold on it, you get a pair of horns that you can attach to your headpiece armor.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
I have seen a Behemoth fight, but I have not actually participated in it because I'm not yet 50. But I watched one from the sidelines. That was pretty cool.
Leveled up to 25.
Hey! You have a class quest then.
Yeah, I do. I will probably go show that off in a minute. Excuse me. Class quest for Marauder has been kind of weird. Kind of like building up to trying to fight this crazy monster thing. It's taken a long time to build up to it, though.
I think I want to say that this is the timing that you're actually going to do it, but I'm not sure.
Maybe.
It's either this one or 30. Oh my goodness! I didn't realize I was in. Oops! I'm like accidentally in an area with all level 50 mobs.
Odin is a fate also?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah. There's talk about like Shiva being a fate as well.
Wait, for real?
Yeah.
I didn't even know. That's... Man.
In a patch.
Okay, it's not in yet, is what you're saying.
No.
There's
Yeah.
talk of adding it.
Will be in. Yeah.
That's nuts. That's weird, like, that kind of turns, like, Odin and Behemoth and, you know, potentially Shiva into these weird sort of, like... It reminds me of, like, the EverQuest style, like... It's like, oh shit, Odin's up, get online.
And that's literally what it is. If you're in Mordona, the level 50 zone, like... When Behemoth pops, the entire world chat is like, "Hey, Behemoth is up. Go right to where he is." It's really cool.
Kishin says Odin does Zantetsuken, and if you don't kill him in time, he wipes out everyone and then vanishes like a boss.
Is it you have to kill him in this one? That's kind of lame. In Final Fantasy XI, when he was going to cast it, you had to do a kneel command. The kneel emote, where you'd crouch down and look like you were praying. And that's how you would survive it?
So, like, as weird as it sounds, I actually kind of love that. I love that they have something in this game that that feels like that old school EverQuest sense of, like... Because, like, that's something that... It was annoying in EverQuest because it was literally everything in the game. There were no instances, and everything in the game was that type of, like, shit, this mob is up, we gotta go now. But the fact that it's just certain things here, and they're, like, certain major bosses, is kind of cool.
And it's only, I mean, once you kill Odin or Behemoth or whatever, they don't spawn for a couple days.
Kishin says some people tried kneeling to Odin. They died.
See, that's a bummer, because it was really cool in 11 when he was out. You know, people, they just, you know, of course, there's no strategy given for how to beat him. And people would complain. So the Square's response was, oh god, what was it? It was like, you should try to kneel and pray.
Scratty says there's a screenshot of a bunch of people having tried that on Sarg the other day. You see a bunch of names in the chat saying kneels before Odin, and then their bodies on the ground.
Man, yeah. That's how you can tell who played Final Fantasy XI. And that'd be so cool if they kept that in. Because there's actually a /pray emote in this. So it would be even more perfect. Because there actually wasn't a pray emote in 11. You just did your little crouch to heal. It looked like you were praying.
Apparently I'm fighting evil sylphs now.
Oh, see? And I just did the pray emote, and it's literally the kneel from Final Fantasy XI. That would have been so cool if they kept that in.
A lot of the story quests team you up with NPCs, which is pretty cool. So you can see I've got Ida and Papa Limo helping me out here. We're two recurring story quest characters. They show up a lot.
They're the Gridania protectors, essentially. Oh, they're going to add, which I guess this doesn't mean anything to you, but they're going to add Hildebrand back in.
I don't know what that is.
Who he was... Detective Hildebrand was in Final Fantasy XIV 1.0. And his entire purpose is basically just comic relief. That he's essentially the most inept detective ever.
Right?
Yeah. And so I don't know, he has lots of fun quests where, you know, it's like him, you know, being ridiculous, and then he has an assistant that's with him that, like, repeats everything he says, pretty much. And it's just, I don't know, it's funny. funny quests. I'm glad that they're taking the time to put some humor into the game.
Totally.
And like I said, they're adding the Moogle boss, which is a really fun and goofy boss fight.
Vitalk is wondering if there's any hope for the Last Guardian making an appearance anywhere. I don't know. You know, I've kind of given up hope for that. Oh, this is a Marlboro, basically.
Yeah.
Except they call it a Marble.
Yeah. I don't know why. They do that. That's just what they call it in this one for whatever reason. I'd like to see Last Guardian, but I'm not hopeful for it, I guess.
Yeah, it's just I've kind of learned to not get my hopes up about it.
Yeah. They should just have... They should just get the guy who did Katamari, bring him on to head up Team Ico and finish Last Guardian. I'd like to see where that goes.
Yeah, that guy's not doing anything, right?
Yeah, right? He's like designing like playgrounds and crap. That's not useful. According to Scratty, avoid the Marlboro when it shows up. If you try to fight it or get hit by it, you die and lose the fate, or lose the duty.
He's been here for a while.
Oh.
So I don't know. I haven't gotten hit by him.
I think you're supposed to let the NPCs take care of him.
Yeah.
It's if you check your chat box, a lot of times, which this is really annoying, is everything else in this game gives you your quest objectives right in the middle of the screen, but a lot of times for duties, they'll be in the chat box instead. Like the NPC will be like, hey man, go fight these dudes. For whatever reason.
Yeah, I mean, they're basically just saying, like, oh, we can kill the sylphs. But I've been killing them, I don't know.
Yeah, if they, you just basically, if they mention something,
here,
that
he ran
means
away.
that's what your job is. Yeah.
Later, dude. Scratty pretending I'm gonna have trouble with this. I'm not gonna have trouble with this.
Alright, I've talked you down, but not that much. I mean, I haven't totally not talked you down at all.
I don't know what you're saying.
I may have talked about all the times you died in WoW. A few times.
Yay! I made the sylphs happy again. Everything's good.
Reginald asking if the story is clicked for you. Lots of people say they skip a lot of the text for the main story until all of a sudden they just start paying attention. I don't know, I like the story.
I like the story. I mean, there's like slow parts for sure, but I've been enjoying it.
It's very old school Final Fantasy. Like, you collect the crystals, become the Warrior of Light, kind of thing.
Yeah, once they started introducing the Garlean Empire, there's definitely some weird, cool shit going on with that. I'm still at a point in the story where it's very much in the background, but where I'm like already pulled into it and excited to see what they do with that.
And I'm about 20 levels ahead of you in the story, and I could say it definitely holds up, I think.
It always helps when
there's no nanomachines or anything, but...
It always helps when they throw in a cutscene that actually has voice acting, too.
They do it, yeah, they space them out just when you're like, I could really use a cutscene with voice in it. They're like, oh, we happen to have one ready for you. And it's kind of interesting, legacy characters actually got a different opening cutscene than regular characters, I guess, which I didn't realize.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Different in what way?
Well, I guess you guys, like, regular characters are like were like on a wagon, and you like talk to a guy or something like that.
Well, it depends which starting area you have.
Oh well, mine was it like showed like the end of the old world, and then me teleporting into a field, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? And then I just kind of like walk to the town.
Oh, weird.
That whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I was for Limsa. It was like coming in on a boat.
Oh, okay. But I thought that was kind of neat because at the ending cutscene of when Final Fantasy 1.0 ended, it showed all the heroes getting teleported to 5 years in the future, and then I actually arrived at the beginning of this game. It was kind of neat.
No one remembers that you were one of the heroes.
Yeah, I know. They
The whole
keep
world
saying like,
forgot.
"Hey, yeah." They're like, "We remember the Warriors of Light." And I want to be like, "I'm a warrior of light, guys."
Oops.
Baytok asking about the NeoGAF thread that you tweeted about earlier.
Jesus.
I can't. link
We're
it.
not going to read it on air on
Not
Polygon
on this
stream,
Yeah.
but on my stream, we just might.
Yeah.
I'm going to teleport quick. I'm going to go back to my guild in Limsa Lominsa and do the level 25 guild quest. But first, I'm going to run and get a soda. So Dylan, please keep these people entertained.
Ooh.
Tell them how good I am at World of Warcraft.
All right, Internet. I'll tell you. He was not great as far as World of Warcraft goes. Not what I'd call the best, but it's all right. It took about a year or so, 6 months to a year, and I managed to whip Phil into shape, make him a serious business, hardcore rating MMO player. It was all me, 110%. Had a dragon kicking and screaming into being a mage that was worth the salt. And let's see, Nosh asked for a link to the thread. Unfortunately, I can't link in Polygon's chat. But if you check Phil's Twitter, at pkohler, he talks about it on there sometime earlier this morning. It's definitely a NeoGAF thread worth checking out, I would say. It's quintessential off-topic NeoGAF, I would say. It's the height of NeoGAF-ness. 13 hours ago, specifically. Yeah, NeoGAF has been out of control lately. Xbox One, PS4 coming out. The crazy console fanboy threads are out in full force. And NeoGAF's never-ending Sony love certainly is showing pretty hard. Because I guess kind of everyone's on the Sony love train for next-gen consoles. There's not a ton of people. Like I know some people that are doing like both consoles, both Xbox One and PS4. But I don't know anyone that's actually doing Xbox One solo console. I don't know. It's funny actually. Xbox One has launched games that I would actually consider playing and buying a console for, but I don't know. All this Xbox One DRM stuff is, I feel like it's guaranteed to come back pretty much.
What did I miss?
Me talking about next-gen consoles.
Ugh.
Yeah, talking about NeoGAF Sony love.
Sure. All right.
Obvious Sony bias.
Super bias.